Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Konuko bhante hetu ko paccayo sankharakhandassa panjapanayati ti. Dear venerable brother, Dhamma friends, so we were discussing a particular sutta for several months now. Actually, that is available in the Khanda Sangyutta, that is the connected discourses of the Buddha, Sangyutta Nikaya. So basically, this is an interesting incident happened during the Buddha's time. At one time, Buddha was dwelling at Migaramatu Pasada. Probably you remember Migaramatu Pasada as the type of monastery built by Visakha. By selling her kind of extraordinary kind of a necklace, she built the Migaramatu Pasada, and Buddha often stayed there as well. He frequently stayed at the Jetanarama, that's also in the Shravasti, and then he visited Migaramatu Pasada also, and there also he has stayed. Now this time also Buddha is staying at the Migaramatu Pasada, and interestingly this is a full moon Poya day. And on that day, Buddha, by the way, during the evening, maybe at night, came out along with the monks, and now they are simply staying outside. Seems like Buddha preferred that outside, the open environment, the space, that spaciousness. Because you know that as we progress in Vipassana, probably you might feel that being in a closed environment, being in a room or a fully constricted area seems a bit difficult. And often you might prefer being in the open, in the outside, and looking at far. And these kind of tendencies might arise in the mind. And actually, yesterday, now we are going to a retreat at Nissarana. Young lady, actually, she has mentioned that it's difficult for her to meditate in a closed environment. And she feels irritated and she feels difficult when meditating at the closed environment. And she made a comment that meditation hall at Nissarana is like a prison. Because you know that the monkey mesh is there, so to avoid monkey being disturbed, so everywhere like the full covered, and for her it's like a little difficult area. So I asked her to, okay, you go outside and be with the trees and be in the environment and you meditate, that's all right. So this is okay actually. Now often you might find that being with the environment is something, it's a kind of a blessing. And these trees and fauna, flora, so being with that, actually there's a healing effect rather than agitating us. So if you want to have such a peaceful mentality, probably you go outside and being with the environment, and maybe you go to the beach and look at the horizon. So all these things are helping us to connect with the environment, to the Mother Earth. Now here also Buddha simply being in outside on the full moon day with the monks. So at that time one monk wants to ask a question, actually a series of questions, and he raised up and interrupted the Buddha, and he's saying, Bhante, I have a series of questions to ask. Will I get the permission? And Buddha says, yes, no problem, you can sit and ask the questions. Actually, the same incident recorded in the Majjhima Nikaya as the Maha Punnama Sutta. And this sutta is in the Khanda Sangyutta as the Punnama Sutta, same name, same incident, same 10 questions. So, actually in the commentary, this incident recorded telling this monk is actually a teacher, and he being an arahant, actually he wants to ask a series of questions not just for his understanding, but he wants to know these answers directly from the Buddha to his students. There were many students that he has came along with, and now he is asking questions so that the Buddha will give the profound answers, so the students may directly get the Buddha's teaching. So that's why he is asking some series of Vipassana related questions actually. Now he starts with talking about the 5 khandhas. So I have heard 5 khandhas like this: the clinging aggregate of form, the clinging aggregate of feelings, the clinging aggregate of perceptions, the clinging aggregate of formations, the clinging aggregate of consciousness. Am I correct? So then Buddha affirms, yes, these are the 5 clinging aggregates. And then he is asking the question, what is the cause, the root of these clinging aggregates? And then Buddha says, Chanda Mulakati. So the desire is the root. So based on the desire, these aggregates continue to exist, continue to develop, continue to accumulate. So we do accumulate aggregates. Now today I thought of particularly paying attention to the 4th aggregate. So we already discussed giving emphasis to the other aggregates. At 1 month we discuss giving emphasis to the form aggregate. Next month we discuss on the feelings aggregate. Last month we discuss on the perceptions aggregate. So let's discuss today on the formations aggregate, more into that. Now, so why are we saying that we keep accumulating these aggregates instead of letting go, or instead of allowing them to fade away? Now say for example, if we pay more attention to the formations aggregate, Sankhara Khandha, so it's a very broad area where all different kind of intentions are included, all different kinds of, say, wholesome thoughts are included, all different kinds of unwholesome thoughts are included. So you can see a vast area of thinking is involved there. Typically, are we sort of reducing our thinking, or are we improving, increasing our thinking? As we even discussed during our Dhamma discussion, so typical tendencies, we keep increasing our thinking. Say as kids, I don't think that we thought as today. Did you? Say as children, so we are very playful and we simply forget what happened yesterday and we again befriend with the other people. We didn't keep proliferating about what has happened yesterday. We can quickly get back with the others and again play with the others. But now, if something went wrong, we keep on remembering it, and how that fellow has blamed me or belittled me. So likewise we keep on brooding on it, and we keep thinking. So we keep accumulating this kind of thinking, and ultimately we get into the overthinking, mental proliferation, conceptual proliferation, and can end up with even some mental what we call kind of disease as well. Overthinking is a root of such a mental aberration, we can say. Now, then this monk is asking, so what's the difference between the Panchupadana Khandha and the Upadana? That means the 5 clinging aggregates are there, and then the clinging is there. Is it quite different, or is it the same? And then Buddha is giving an answer, telling it is not the 5 clinging aggregate itself is the upadana, but not something apart from it. The desire, the grasping towards these aggregates is the so-called upadana. So giving a little differentiation between the clinging aggregates and the desire towards them. And then he is asking another question. Siyapana bhante panchupadana khandesu chandaraga vemattatati. Is there any diversity in these 5 clinging aggregates? So there Buddha giving an answer Siya bhikkhu evaṁ rūpo siyaṁ anāgata maddhānaṁ. Evaṁ vedana siyaṁ anāgata maddhānaṁ. Evaṁ sañño siyaṁ anāgata maddhānaṁ. Evaṁ sankhāro siyaṁ anāgata maddhānaṁ. Evaṁ viññāno siyaṁ anāgata maddhānaṁ. So let's take the sankhara part today. So assume that we are thinking about the future, maybe most of the time as young people, as youth. And often we think, okay, want to develop my skill. So you are ambitious about your skills, and we motivated to develop our skills, our creativity, our, say, speech skills, maybe our other proficiencies. So these are all comes under the sankharas actually. So these are all skills we develop. So the sankhara we can broadly divide into 3 groups: kaya sankhara, vaci sankhara, mano sankhara. This kaya sankhara. So different bodily activities are there, different bodily formations are there, starting with the very basic fundamental breathing. So breathing is the most fundamental bodily formation. Kaya sankharo is the asasa pasasa, that is the breathing. Based on breathing, we do many activities. Suppose a person is doing sports, so he want to run, he want to jump, play cricket, play football, baseball, whatever. So all that are certain body activities. Say you want to practice medicine, say you want to become a doctor, say you are practicing, you are learning. Say you want to become a teacher, say you are going to the teaching school or university and you are learning so much, gather too much, memorizing too much. So many information. Now you are learning, gathering, writing to the exams, passing the exams, then getting promotions. So many activities are there, body related activities. It doesn't mean that the mere body is involved, mind is involved, but the body related activities is the most prominent thing. And then the verbal activities are also there. Say you want to speak, say you want to present something. Probably you are gathering some information, tomorrow you have a presentation, say you have an office work, maybe some donors are coming based on your situation, maybe clients are coming, consultants are coming, students are coming. Depending on the situation, say you are preparing something based on how you are going to talk, how you are going to deliver a speech. So all that we can think about the future activity with more into the verbal now. We can think about the future activity based on the bodily part now. Say body involvement is the most easy to give examples. Maybe you want to sing a song. So you are practicing again and again, you are going to the participating into different music classes and you are learning various tunes. Can't remember them. So ultimately you can sing properly. So you go to the contest and you compete with the others. Maybe you select to the island first. Good. So singing competitions are there. Hero superstars. So different activities are there. So future related say bodily activities are there. So we are now planning, we are now thinking. So certain skills that I need to sharpen so that I will win. And maybe you are participating to the next election, you have to contest upcoming election. That's also a bodily activity, isn't it? Involves certain amount of verbal activity also. Probably you have to participate in the gatherings and you have to deliver the speech. You have to impress the audience. You have to tell so much of maybe lies, promises, all that. So you are preparing all that. So many things are there. Now these are all futuristic, future related. You are orienting the future and particularly giving emphasis today to the sankhara. So different sankharas, formations are there, but future related. All are giving some kind of energy for us to live, to continue. Say if we add the body, so the form aggregate, so that also promotes future existence, future feelings. Say I want to become healthy, I want to become pretty, I want to have happiness, I want to be free from suffering. The feeling related, future related thinking is there, planning is there, expectations are there. Sanya, say you are gathering some information, you want to have a title for you, you want to win a kind of a position, designation, so you are targeting to that. Maybe you are learning to become a doctor, say degree holder, so you are adding a title. So all that names and all, but still you are future related. Now as we discussed today, the sankhara, so bodily activities, verbal activities, mental activities, all are future related, giving some inclination towards the future. So here Buddha emphasizes, Yekechi sankhara siya bhikkhu, evang sankharo siyang anagata madhana. So let me have these kind of skills in the future, maybe bodily skills, verbal skills, mental skills in the future. Say today we are practicing at Kalalgoda, expecting to develop certain skills, isn't it? I don't have enough mindfulness, so I am practicing so that I will have sharp mindfulness. I don't have enough concentration, okay, I am practicing so that I have some sharp concentration. I am not enough wise, so let me develop Vipassana so that I will be more wiser. So that's also skills, but wholesome, more into the wholesome side, still future. We are sometimes forgetting about the present, but more oriented towards the future, helping us to more and more giving some inclination towards the continuity. So sometimes driven by bhavatanha. So bhavatanha often help us to continue, invites us to continue, invites us to sustain as a person, as an individual. So all inclination towards the future, and it is not only to this present life, probably you can extend it to the future life. So I am too old now we can't say amend this body, repair this body, heal this body. So let me have a good life in the next life, maybe as a heavenly realm, at the Nandanuyana, with many other apsaras. So all that, so you can think of a future life which is more luxurious. Maybe if it is a good human birth, born to some rich parents with lot of luxuries, fully healthy, with all the expected skills, no need to go to the school again, immediately having all the knowledge. So some interesting future related skills are helping us to continue our life, continue forever. As a person, as an individual, as a me, myself, expecting to continue. And then this next section, Kittavatanuko bhante kandhanam kandhadi vachananti. So he is asking why this term kanda. So why the term kanda is given. So as you know, the typically translated as an aggregate, meaning it's a very, very huge area. Not a simple thing, very narrow thing, but each kanda represents different domains of our experience. Now sankhara kanda, as I said, even in the present level, present moment, it's very diverse and very wide mental formations. As I discussed, maybe wholesome thoughts, unwholesome thoughts, verbal activities, bodily activities, mental activities. And then it is not only the present, even the atita, even the past, even the present, even the future. Atita, anagata, pachuppanna. So the chronologically you can have at different time frames. Whatever the thoughts, whatever the intentions, whatever the skills, whatever the bodily activities, verbal activities, mental activities which has happened, occurred at past, also included within this sankhara khanda. What is happening right now, also included. What's going to happen in the future, that is also included. And then ajjatta bahidda. So what you consider as internal bodily formations, mental formations, verbal formations, or what you consider as outside. Say someone is talking, your son is singing. That's also a formation, bodily activity, mental activity, verbal activity. That is also included. So whatever the external activities going on, if we are considering as activities, it doesn't mean either it's related to yourself. If it is not related to yourself, but still those are formations, bodily, verbal, mental, still included within the sankhara khanda. Ajjata bahidda. Olarika sukuma. So those may be some gross kind of formations or maybe very subtle formations. All are included. Hina panita. That means very inferior type of formations or more superior type of formation. So that those are our own value additions. So sometimes we consider things as superior, sometimes we consider as inferior. All are included. And what is near, what is far, that also included. So Buddha is giving here 11 dimensions actually. 11 dimensions. And now you can't say any bodily activity, any verbal activity, any mental activity which doesn't come under the sankhara khanda. Everything what you can think of are included within the sankhara khanda. So very broad in that sense. So same thing applies for the other aggregates as well. So if, say for example, if you consider the rupa upadana khanda, so all the physical, what you can think of, included within this rupa khanda. It may be the past physical matter, currently what is happening in the physical world, future what is going to happen in the physical world, all are included. And what is happening so-called inside the body and outside the body, all are included. Matter, physical parts. And then more gross or refined, that is also included. Far, near, that is included. Inferior, superior, that is included. So all the huge, very vast, either you are talking of this earth or the whole planets, everything is included. Whatever the physical is coming under this formation, form aggregate. So similarly, whatever the thoughts, bodily activities, mental activities, verbal activities, past, present, future, internal, external, inferior, superior, far, near, gross, refined, all are coming under the formations aggregate. So therefore it's a vast area that we are talking. Interesting thing is, our mind can attach to any of these. Whatever an activity happened maybe yesterday, you can still attach to it. Election has happened on 21st, right? Still you can think about it. Aren't you? Still you are thinking, oh, what has happened to that particular district? Have they won like this? Probably you can browse again and check it. Still some attachment is there. Some, say, past activity. Probably yesterday someone has blamed you. Verbal activity. Still you may attach to it. Still you are brooding about it. Some past activities. Now he is not blaming, but still we are thinking. Isn't it? So what's going to happen in the future? Still we can attach to it. So our funny mind, in that sense, it doesn't matter either it is already happened or currently happening or going to happen, still not certain, but still can attach to it. So that's the funny thing. We can see that things have happened already, but we can't immediately forget it, let it go. We still like to think about it, consider it, value about it, reconsider about it. So many things are there. And probably based on that we take a decision, future related expectation, they may win properly in the future. We may think about like that. So we can attach to that. We are expecting such. We can dream like that. So we can mentally think about a scenario based on the present or the past, and about the future. Now we can imagine about something. Promoting thinking, by the way. Isn't it? Imagining, fantasizing, proliferation, overthinking, ultimately obsession, end up with what? At Angoda? So what happened now? Say you expect too much, but it's not going to happen. As we discussed in the evening, in the afternoon, so there is no an agreement that the way we want going to happen definitely. There is no such an agreement. Things can go wrong. Things can happen differently. So when our expectations are not met, so what happened to us? So are we mentally collapsed, complete heartbroken? So things can go wrong really. So because we are too dependent, we expect too much. We are having too many expectations, too many hopes that everything happens to the betterment. If it does not happen, then there may be some issue. Now the next question this monk is asking, now this kandhadi vachanang, so why the term aggregate is therefore talking about these 11 dimensions, past, present, future, internal, external, superior, inferior, superior, far, near. So these are the different dimensions. So that's a vast area into the mental world, mental activities, verbal activities, bodily activities, mental formations particularly. Buddha is talking as the formations aggregate, sankhara khandha. And now he is asking another interesting question. So what is the cause? Konuko bhante hetuko paccayo sankhara khandasa panyapanaya. How this formations aggregates comes to be. Now probably you know how the form aggregate come to be. That's because of the 4 elements. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. So these are typically mentioned as the basic roots, or we can say the constructing elements of the Rupa, the form aggregate. The whole physical world is very much like prepared, constructed based on these very primary elements. So what is the cause for feelings like that? Feelings based on what? What paccaya vedana? Passa paccaya vedana. Yeah, so the passa, the contact, is the cause for feelings. So what is the cause for perception? Sanya. That's also passa. Contact causes perceptions. What is the cause for sankhara? That is also passa. Passa paccaya sankhara. So Buddha answers like this: passo hetu, passo paccayo, sankharassa, sankhara khandassa panyapanaya. So passa, the contact, is the cause. Now this is also a very interesting area. So how contact causes sankhara? Now we can say like if we look at the dependent origination. the Patissamuppada. Say you are getting Salayatana Pacca Passu, Passa Pacca Vedana, Vedana Pacca Tanha, Tanha Pacca Upadanam. So likewise you can remember that order. Now, when feelings happen, what happen? So you are tempted to recognize, as we discussed in the Madhupindika Sutta. Say Chakkuncha Paticca Rupecha Upajjita Chakku Vijnana. Now you can remember. So when I get aligned with certain form, and when necessary other factors are available, enough illumination is available and your attention is available, okay, the tendency is there for the eye consciousness to happen. So you become aware of it. And then it happens again and again, repeatedly. So now the eye contact happens. Passa coming to happen. Tinnan Sangati Passu. Passa Pacca Vedana. Now the feeling happens. Now you feel happy. Say you saw someone you like and a little recognition is there and you get the happy feeling. Yang Vedeti Tang Sanjanati. So that feeling causes you to closely recognize what's really going on. Yang sanjanati tang vitakketi. Now we are getting into the formations aggregate. Vitakka is actually coming under the formations aggregate. Now thoughts are popping up. Now you are tempted to think. You recognized, accordingly you want to think. Now the thinking starts. Yang vedeti tang sanjanati, yang sanjanati tang vitakketi. What next? Yang vitakketi tam papancheti. Now the machine starts. Thinking machine now starts. Yam papancheti tato nidanam bhikkhu papancha sanya sankha samudacharanti atitanagata pachuppannesu chakku viññayesu rupesu. We have just discussed only the eye faculty. What else is there? Ear faculty, nose faculty, tongue faculty, body faculty, mind faculty. Same thing you have to repeat. All promotes thinking, all promotes mental formations. Sankhara Khanda is now building up. It's not merely the single aggregate. Actually, all the aggregates are very much like collectively working together. But if we pay attention into the formations aggregate, so the formations aggregate has a significant impact coming from that contact. So your eye and the formations, forms, ear and the sounds, smell and the taste, body and the tangibles, mind and mental objects. So that contact is a primary cause for thinking to happen. Now, interesting question. Now, say, as meditators, as practitioners, so as you practice Vipassana, even you see things, why thoughts not happen? Say you are walking, say you are now a good practitioner, you went through fair amount of Vipassana practice, you went through fair amount of Satipatthana practice, and there may be instances, even though seeing happens, mind doesn't want to talk, no thinking. Have you ever experienced? Isn't it? I mean, the seeing is there, eye contact is there, but no thinking. So then is the Madhupindika Sutta wrong? So the sounds are there, but mind doesn't want to talk. Inner chatter is not promoted. You keep your quietude. You keep the inner silence. Isn't it possible? It's possible, right? So as we continue our practice, you may reach this state where you are able to calm down the mind, relax the mind, silence the mind. Even though seeing happens, mind maintains its silence. Even though hearing happens, mind maintains its silence. Smelling, tasting, touching happens, mind is capable of maintaining its silence. Even a mental object happens, still mind maintains its silence. So what has happened there then? So the contact actually typically, so this is my understanding, so subject to further investigation. So probably you have heard about two sides of the contact, what we call the Patika Sampassa and the Adivachana Sampassa. So these are little advanced areas. So Buddha not only talking about the physical contact. So we often think about the physical contact. When we talk contact, we often think about the physical contact. Say eye and the form, kind of a physical contact, even though it does not hit the eye. So that is, the rays, what we call the light rays come and hit the retina or something, and then all that ups and down inversions and all that happens physically. So that's the physical type. And the sound, so it comes and hit the eardrum, isn't it? Go back to the science. The smell, maybe some little tiny particles and stimulate the senses at your nose. But while you are eating, the senses at your tongue being stimulated by certain ingredients of what you are eating. The body, that's a direct touch. Body has the direct touch, actually. The physical direct touch is there with the body. Mind, so mind actually has, we can't say it's a physical touch, we can say it's a kind of a mental level kind of a contact is there. Anyway, now this is only the physical contact. We can say it's the mere patika sampassa. What's the other part? The adivachana sampassa. So the adivachana sampassa is there, the mental contribution. See, where you are trying to recognize, you are trying to give a name, you want to see what it is. So this mental contribution is part of the contact. So in the living world, if this mental contribution is not happening, then we can't say the passa is completed. So the passa to complete in the real living world, all these two components needs to be satisfied. Mere physical contact is not enough. So as far as I can understand, now when the Vipassana is developed to fair extent, we can say, so mind's involvements, mind's giving definitions or mind's giving explanations to the physical contact is now stopped. Mind doesn't want to. Mind simply minds its own business without interrupting, without interfering, without commenting. It doesn't want to. So mental recognition, mental contribution, adding its own comments, stopped. Physical contact continues. Eye contact, ear contact, nose, tongue, body, all that continues, but without excessive contribution, commenting, proliferation, obsession of the mind. Mind maintains the silence. So therefore, I feel this, at one level, this adivachana sampassa is going to not completely, till you want, maybe, you can calm down, relax. Now, next question, this monk asking, Katannuko bhante sakkaya ditti hoti. How the sakkaya ditti going to happen? The personality view going to happen. So let's talk about the formations aggregate. So how the formations aggregate contributes towards the sakkaya ditti. So sakkaya ditti, the personality view. So how the thinking process contributes sakkaya ditti towards the sakkaya ditti. So that actually comes at different levels. Now say, for example, you look at the picture of you, maybe your national identification card, maybe your passport, maybe your wedding photo, maybe your group photo. You can simply look at the figure, picture, image, and you can simply say, this is I am. This is my picture, or this is I am. You can simply show your son, daughter, okay, this is me. Look at how beautiful I am, but now I am old. But look at that actually the immediate identification of the body. But later you can think that thinking process actually a part of the formations aggregate, sankhara. But now you are talking based, a certain contribution came from the form aggregate also. So the form aggregate immediate identification as myself is further emphasized, reinforced, strengthened by mental contribution. You are thinking too much about it, talking too much about it, appreciating too much about it. So all that is now properly added together, and body is also considered as myself, this is me, and thought process also further confirms that identification by too much thinking. And on the other hand, now this is with respect to all the other aggregates, we can say like this. Now say a certain feeling is there. Say you end up with, you face a certain difficult, painful situation. Say you were hospitalized and you were sick, and a certain incident has happened, you went through some suffering, and later you can think about it, isn't it? So I was suffering like this, and these people actually has helped me. They were really good people. Those doctors are really like, devas. They quickly participated. Without them, I was not alive today. You can think. Considering as an individual, giving more emphasis to the body, recognizing body as myself, I was sick, now I am much better. They helped me, they treated me. Thinking. So thinking as a great contribution towards this recognition as body as an individual, body as me, myself. And they are also now considering the sickness as something, as one thing maybe, and further emphasizing, yes, I was hospitalized, I was like this, they treated me. So all that has a fair contribution coming from the thinking. So thinking plays a pivotal role in this Sakkaya Ditthi. Now suppose you have a skill. Now directly let's come to the sankhara, kaya sankhara, vaci sankhara, mano sankhara. Say bodily activity. Say a past bodily activity. Say you won a race. You are in a sports meet as a child, and you still have your records and maybe the photos, etc. Still you can remember how fast you ran, how up you jump, how height you jump, right? Or maybe how well you sang, how well that you have answered the questions, how good you were at the examinations. So some bodily activity maybe. So that bodily activity you consider as one thing. Now say for example, say you are considering an exam. Say you all passed the A-level exam maybe. So A-level exam is one thing, right? One thing. What is A-level exam? Maybe O-level? If A-level is difficult. So what is O-level? Now this is actually a term, right? So considering many things, right? So you have to be at the age of maybe 16, 17, and you are at the college, and certain subjects are there, and you learn to that, and then there's a particular date, examination date, and you went and wrote the answers, maybe passed, and we say, okay, this is the O-level exam, ordinary level exam. So is there a real ordinary level exam? So we have accumulated too many activities, little activities, so many things were there, right? You need to show your authentication, you have to participate into that school, go through the studies, memorize them, learn them, do the past papers. So many things are there, but all together we give a name. Oh, this is O-level. Similarly, many things are there, then we say this is A-levels. So many activities, verbal, mental, bodily, but we name it. We add a label and say, oh, this is it. Now we can simply say, oh, I passed the O-level exam. My son passed with 9 A's. O-level exam, or A-levels, he passed with 3 A's. Now you are, say, happy about it, you are proud about it. Of what? Passing the A-levels, passing the O-levels. Now for us, it's a kind of an event, a big event, a successful event, competitive event. But it has so many little contributing factors. It is not just one event. So we are taking a series of little events together and give it a name. So now we take it as one component, going under the impression it's a one thing. So we are under the impression as a ghana sanya, compactness. So we forget that it has so many other little contribution factors and many things I have to get involved. That is there maybe under the carpet, but we forget about it. But we immediately grasp, oh, this is O-level, this is A-level, this is university, or this is presidential election. So it has become an event in our mind now. It has already happened. Now let's take the presidential election for the example. So it included many little things, isn't it? So many things were there, but now for us it's a presidential election. It's an event. So we take so many things together and give it a name, and it's an event now in the mind. So it has certain event related information, and we can think based on that, has some our tendencies, our appreciation, so the opposite. So typically even in the formations aggregate, we bind things together, bundle things together, and now we give a new name to that, and now we forget about the bundle. We have one thing. So Sakkaya Ditthi is there by accumulating so many activities and now considering it as one activity. We forget it contributes so many other things. We are unable to divide all that, but we cling to, grasp to this one thing. I won the presidential election. I was defeated at the presidential election. I voted to the presidential election. So my side, my preference won the presidential election. So presidential election has become one unit, one activity, one event in myself. So I can remember the presidential election, I can discuss about it as one thing. So everywhere, as human beings, we are very much like addicted to give a name to a series of accumulated events and then naming it using one label. And this contributes to add Sakkaya Ditthi. So so the Sakkaya, the term Sakkaya comes considering group of things, many things, and collecting them together, binding them together, and now considering everything exists as one thing. Satkaya. Everything together as one unit. Now one unit exists. Presidential election happened. One thing happened. Now something happened. Now say for example, it's easy to understand with the body actually. Now is this body now exist? Body exists, right? Say your car exists. Say you parked it outside, the car exists. What's this? Clock exists, right? One thing, clock, correct? One thing. Are there two things here? One thing. All accepted? One thing. Sakkaya Ditthi. But how many things are there in here? Many things are there. If we dismantle this, right? Disassemble this, so how many parts are there? Little parts are there. We forget it. I want to buy a clock. This is how we, communicate with others. I want to buy a clock. So I want to buy a car. What is inside the car? Not your bag. Bag also may be there. But many little parts are there, isn't it? Maybe tires, maybe engine, fuel, seats, radio, side mirrors. How many parts are there? Immense amount of parts are there. Many parts are there. But we forget that altogether once we bundle them, it is my car. Easy to attach, easy to grasp. This is my car, not your car. This is my very beautiful, attractive, expensive, valuable car. Yours is garbage. So I can fight with another person. I can attract to my car when things are taken as one thing. So now we can talk about presidential election as one thing, isn't it? So we can win the election, presidential election, next election is so and so as one thing. So we refer taking many little things and then add together, group them together, add a label. Now we are attached to this label. So Gana Sanya is everywhere. So don't think Gana Sanya, the compactness is only related to the body, the physical things. So all different kinds of formations bundled together, then we add a name to it. Now we are attached into that event, that situation as one thing. So that's why we can discuss that tomorrow actually. So that's why we have to work a lot to reduce this bundling, actually compacting, so that we are in a situation to dismantle things, disassemble things, particularly to the thinking. So huge thinking is going on. Now say for example, say you went through a lustful situation. So you say, okay, I was really lustful. So how many thoughts were there? Maybe millions of thoughts. So we are talking of millions of thoughts, but simply we say, okay, I was really lustful. Say, I am angry. I was really angry. When my party didn't work well, I was really angry, really upset. How many thoughts were there? Millions of thoughts. But we simply say, I was angry. So we are talking of emotions. So emotion is a contribution or a product of too much thinking, a fair amount of many other factors. Body is involved, various feelings are involved, perceptions were involved, thinking involved, and your senses are involved. So now I am saying I am angry, I am unhappy, I am jealous, I was restless, I was worried. So we give these names, but internally there are many contributing factors, particularly the thoughts based on today's topic. Many thoughts are there, but we forget it. But what happens as we practice? So we are able to dismantle these things. Say later there may be situations, okay, instead of emotions you have thoughts. Angry thoughts are there. Instead of lust, you may have lustful thoughts. Instead of jealousy, you have some jealousy thoughts. So they are coming and going. So likewise, as we practice, probably we are able to see things clearly. So what are the contributing factors? So rather than taking things together as one thing, probably we can think a little and see. There also we have to think. But through the practice we can investigate how the mind is preparing all this, adding all this together, bundling all this together. A huge role is done by tanha, actually. Tanha is considered as a labor, as a gum, as an adhesive. So many events are there. Now say, for example, past event was there, present event is there, you are projecting the future event. Who is binding these together? Tanha is the main guy. Tanha is the culprit. So your past event, present event, future event is binds together. I was there, I am now available, future also I am living. Past activities, present activities, future activities. So you bind these together, so you have one thing, one life. I was there, I am available now, I am living now, future also I will be. What actually has happened, past many aggregates arising and passing away, they all passed away now. Currently, aggregates arising and passing away, future not yet happened. That is the reality. But we forget that. We simply say, I was there, currently also I am available, I am talking, you are listening. Tomorrow also I will be there. You also will be there. So this is how we refer. So our language helps us to continue Sakkaya Ditthi, affirm Sakkaya Ditthi. Language give a big role. Language give a big boost to the Sakkaya Ditthi, isn't it? So being trapped in the language. So as we practice, so language can't explain maybe sometimes. Language stops. So the purpose of language is to affirm Sakkaya Ditthi, to further confirm Sakkaya Ditthi. You as an individual, you have some special person, you are a special person. So you had all this to properly explain that, accept that, confirm that language is there. But when things collapse, so language don't have such capacity. It's beyond the language, isn't it? So the silence, how are you going to explain? Say when all mental formations calm down, at that time if you want to explain, then again you are back into the sankhara. So when all mental formations are calmed down, say you are going through your practice and you are able to calm down all mental formations. Now no thinking at all. Are you dead? No, we are still living fully aware. So the awareness is possible without mental formations as such. Without thinking, awareness is possible. So these are very interesting. So we think, okay, in order for me to live, I have to think. Do you? Do you have to think for you to live? Did you question yourself? These are very interesting areas. For you to live, do you have to think? So while you were sleeping, who was thinking? If we take such a mundane example, isn't it? While you were sleeping, who was thinking? Nobody was thinking. Maybe a burglar may be thinking. But you are sleeping. You are not thinking. But the continuity happens. So if you stop thinking, still the continuity happens. You may continue to live. But no thinking. Now, if we say, if you stop thinking, no Sakkaya Ditthi. Can we come to such conclusion? If you are able to stop thinking, no Sakkaya Ditthi at that time. So the contribution coming from mental formations are not there, isn't it? So I said that the huge contribution is necessary coming from the mind itself by thinking to affirm Sakkaya Ditthi, to accept yourself as a person, as an individual. So I was there yesterday, I was participating to that. Today also I am participating, I am doing this, that. Thinking is there to affirm your existence as a person, as an individual, as a very important person. Sakkaya Ditthi is fairly confirmed by thinking. If you stop thinking, a fair drop is there. Yes, as you correct. So a fair drop happens. So that's why typically Sakkaya Ditthi and Asmimana are considered at two different levels. Sakkaya Ditthi as the gross level and Asmimana is a very refined level, still a sense of I. So we can say little safely, so if we can stop thinking for a while, still Asmimana is there, but no big contribution coming to the Sakkaya Ditthi. We need to investigate it further. Because the current contribution to affirm as a person basically has stopped. Because without thinking, it's very difficult to affirm a self. You have to think and see. Is I exist without thinking? Is it possible for I to exist without thinking? Or some continuity is there, some awareness is there, there is no I. Now say for example, you are practicing elements meditation. Previously there was I. You are the one at Kalalgoda, I am at Kalalgoda, I am at the walking path, I am practicing. And later assume that while walking, no thoughts, no thinking. You are simply observing phenomena, how they are coming and going, arising, passing away. Where is I? No I. There is no such personality. For personality to happen, what is the most essential part? Upadana. Upadayati ko auso asmiti hoti no anupadaya. So the clinging, grasping is a must for I to happen, for Sakkaya Ditthi to happen. So if Upadana is not there, then we can't say you are feeling a huge personality view, there is no such Sakkaya Ditthi present at that time. If Upadana is not there. But as mentioned, so still Asmimana is there, because latent tendencies are still operative. So there may be a situation in the future, again the latent tendencies activate, again thinking happens, again the Sakkaya Ditthi may arise. But currently if you are able to calm down yourselves, completely relax, no thinking, at that time we can say you are fairly at Nibbana, fairly a Sotapanna. Happy? Attain Sotapanna temporarily. So therefore, again and again we have to attain Sotapanna at that time. Rather than practicing now and attain Sotapanna tomorrow, let's attain Sotapanna now. So the practice is therefore always very much like talking about the present moment. Always telling us, emphasizing the present moment. How about the status right now in my mind? Is it too much thinking? Yes, calm it down. Calm down. Attain Nibbana right now. Calm down yourself right now. If anger is there, you are burning, calm down right now. Lust is there right now, calm it down right now. Don't burn. So Nibbana is quenching, right? Extinguishment. calming down, relaxing, tranquility, calm down right now. So again and again we have to come to the present moment. So we have to be mindful right now, look at the mind. If it is burning, okay, calm down, relax, quench. Then we can attain Nibbana right now. Don't know about the future. So very interesting way how Buddha is presenting. So certain people, certain teachers actually, this Ajahn Sumedho used to say, now is the knowing. Now, present is the knowing. And somebody contributed a book today from Eckhart Tolle. So his famous book, what's that? Now? What? Huh? No, Power of Now. Power of Now, his famous book, Power of Now, emphasizing the present moment. So Buddha emphasized the present moment, many others emphasize the present moment. We also have to emphasize the present moment. Come back, present moment, be happy, calm, relax. No grasping, if possible. If no grasping, right now, no personality view. Okay, with that, we'll conclude today's Dhamma sermon and we'll discuss further tomorrow. And thank you very much for attentive listening. So, today we have a short sharing of merits. And sharing of merits with departed parents, Hema U. Gamage, Jayasena U. Gamage, and Henry Gunasekara. May their sansaric journey be short. So sharing of merits also very short. Let the sansaric journey also be very short. So today also we have practiced and participated into a Dhamma discussion and listened to a Dhamma sermon. All the merits we have accumulated, let's share with all the past relatives, with all the deities, and whoever in need of merits. And we wish these merits help us also to attain Nibbana right now. So we'll recite the traditional verses. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu mamparang. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.